Hi there. Welcome to Hollywoodland22. So, what are you watching tonight, Ashley?
Cleaning.
Oh, cleaning the refrigerator videos?
Yeah.
On what platform?
YouTube.
On YouTube? Really? You know why? Because if you watch YouTube, you know what that makes you? That makes you a driver. It makes you a winner. Anyway, let's get everyone in here. Let's get everyone. All messages. Yes, that's right. You people are funny. Did you hear that owl? I hear an owl outside for real. Well, we'll see if somebody comes in here. Usually I don't come on this early. Yeah, I was gonna. I come. Well, I do. I come on anywhere between 5 o'clock p.m. and 9 p.m. Every day, 7 days a week. But not only for anywhere from maybe, I don't know, 35 minutes to about maybe an hour and a half at the most. I just go on YouTube for fun. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. I do appreciate it. Well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do today. Today, I think I have some chores to do. Let's take a look and see what I have to do in the other room. I wonder what awaits us, what adventure awaits us. Julie, Ms. Newman,
Yes.
I'm going to handle business outside.
Okay then.
I guess you know what I'm doing, right?
Yes.
Okay. You never know. I might want to bring these with me. So let's fix this fan. Okay. All right. Hi, welcome into Hollywoodland22. Well, you know what time it is. It's time to take care of that mess right there. Oh my God. Look at all that mess there. That's horrible. Who could have made all that mess? I've had just about enough out of those two. I'm going to call the authorities. I love this flashlight. That is my Maglite flashlight. It's very handy, especially with batteries in it. Okay. Turn on some lights here. Okay. You know, it actually warmed up a lot. I'm in North Carolina, in the Raleigh area. Well, a little south of Raleigh. It actually warmed up today. Julie.
Yeah.
What was the temperature Fahrenheit today?
77.
77 for a high? 77 for a high. That's the warmest it's been since, what, around Thanksgiving time? Yeah. Well, you know what they say. Happy girlfriend, happy household. This is a big giant mess. Oh my God. Trying to figure out how I accumulated this many dishes in one day between two people. We don't eat that much. Everybody's different. But on average, most people that are over 50 years old do not eat as much as people, I guess, when they're 25. And I just don't eat the calories. I no longer do, well, you know, for part of my life, about 5 years, when I was real young, I did some construction labor work. And I don't do that work anymore, but I used to be able to eat about 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day because I was moving concrete around, carrying bricks and all kinds of stuff. But, you know, I was like, that was in the summertime on my break. Now it's maybe about, I don't know, 20, 21, 22 years old. I was going to college, and I wouldn't do that all the time. I was a young guy. Usually I worked as a, what's that called? I was like 18, 19, 20, in my 20s, mostly sales, retail management, and hotel and related services. Yeah, I kind of like selling things. It was a different time. People worked in the mall. We had indoor air-conditioned shopping malls back then. Does anybody remember that? Oh, by the way, thank you everyone for coming in. If I haven't, I'm not reading the chat right now, but I'm showing you me actually doing chores. Yes. I'm verifying and documenting that I do wash dishes from time to time. So, guess what? My name is Randy. And you know what? I've been waiting for this strike on Iran since 1979, when I was 13 years old. Been a long time, huh? Many of you are not old enough to remember what happened in 1979. You might have been very young children or not even born yet, probably most of you. But you can Google it, it's there. They haven't erased that. What happened to our embassy in 1979? I remember. I don't forget things. Does anybody remember the Ayatollah Khomeini dartboards and all of the bars? They even had them in Shakey's Pizza. Did you know that? Yes, America was a much different place back then. Much different place. Actually, some of the poor neighborhoods in big cities were a lot more dangerous back then than they are now. Woo! It was bad. See, we didn't have cameras and phones and all that stuff. Yeah, it was different. Philadelphia was rough in the late 70s. Woo. Well, late 70s getting into the 80s. I wonder if anyone watching is from the Philadelphia area and remembers that. And they even had biker gangs in Philadelphia. I remember that. That was a trip. You know what I stopped doing? I stopped watching. I really don't have a lot of time to watch social media during the day. I can pop in from time to time, and there are some people on a different platform, on YouTube and TikTok also, and Twitch, and Kick, that I occasionally will pop in and see if they're live streaming early in the morning, or, you know, sometime around lunchtime I'll pop in and say hello or something like that. But a lot of TikTok in particular during the day, there's a lot of creators that I'm just not into. There's a lot of channels that I think are just really boring, and the people don't have a lot of talent, or they have zero talent, and they just have panels full of people on a lot of TikTok in between, I would say around 10 a.m. to about 4 p.m. that I'm glad that I'm busy during those hours, because it's really gone downhill. I mean, since October of last year. I don't know if you agree with me, but it's just a lot of people that are saying a lot of nasty and hateful things. So I don't really get into TikTok during the day. I don't have time for it, really. I did notice that for me, my personal opinion, and I think this is the opinion of a lot of people, a lot of the creative people, or just fun people, nice people that come on YouTube or come on TikTok, the competitor, they're more friendly, well-mannered, better spoken, happy, that they speak English better, that they have a nice way about them. They have like a jovial disposition. They have something, or they have something on their channel that I think is educational and useful to me, because I'm older and time is currency more than dollar bills for me now, right? Because of my age. And I don't want to waste any time. So I noticed that somewhere around 5 p.m., really at 6 p.m. until about 12 midnight is when I find the most talented people coming on YouTube and TikTok. Not all, but most of the highest percentage of talented people coming on YouTube, the platform I like to use. This is my favorite one. Thank you for hitting the like and subscribe button. Twitch, TikTok, or the other one, Kick, which I watch also. I'm thinking about starting a channel on Kick, maybe later on. I really don't know if I'm ever going to go back to TikTok. I had a channel there for about 11 months, and it was fun until it became not fun, so I got off of it. I think I stopped live streaming on TikTok either the end of September or I think it might have been the end of October. You can check my I still have the page up, I still have my old TikTok page up. You can check it out if you want to. But sometime around September, October, I just stopped live streaming. I didn't find it fun anymore. You know, some people do, to each their own. I prefer YouTube. I think overall YouTube is a better platform. I mean, if you want to build a channel, I would suggest YouTube, even though it's harder at first to get started because you need to get 50 subscribers. That in itself is hard, but getting to a point where you have about, you know, anywhere from 15 to 25 people continuously watching your stream, that could take a year. Now, it took me about 4 months, but sometimes it takes most people maybe about a year, from what I've heard. But it can be fun. There's a lot of interesting people on YouTube. You can learn a lot. Not everything on social media is fake. Although a lot is. If you want to know something about the world, I would suggest saving your money up and purchasing an encyclopedia set. And start with the letter A and work your way to Z and read the encyclopedia. My father gave me his old World Book Encyclopedia, which is like probably a junior high school level, it's 8th grade level reading. World Book Encyclopedia from 1954. It was a used one. No, it was the one he used. His father bought it for him, and my dad gave it to me. And I read from A to U or V. From A to U. I didn't get all the way to Z. By that time, I had turned about 15 years old, and I left my World Book Encyclopedia at my mother's house, and I moved in with my father. I should have taken that World Book Encyclopedia. I learned a lot reading that encyclopedia. Now, that was an older encyclopedia from back, in the 1950s. Maybe that's why I know certain things that a lot of other people don't know. I don't know, maybe the encyclopedias are different now. Maybe there's very pertinent information that is being withheld from the public, even via encyclopedias. You never know. That would be sad, but I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, we're almost done here. Wash these utensils 3 at a time. I've been doing this since I was 6 years old. There were nights when my mother had to work late, where I had to cook dinner for my brother. When he was just a little kid. I sure was busy. When I was a kid, I went to school, and then right afterwards, between 11 and 15, I had delivered newspapers. We sold newspaper subscriptions, and I had about 250 customers because I had apartment complexes to deliver to, right? I'm delivering to apartments. That was a big job, and doing my homework. I sure was busy. Never forget that. Oh my God, what a mess. Thank you for hitting the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to build this channel up too. We'll see, it's Sunday. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build this channel up until maybe about 600 subscribers by the end of Saturday. And I can't do it. Only you can give me those subscriptions and likes. And it's free to subscribe. Thank you. You guys are beautiful. Thank you. Sorry I couldn't read the chat right now. I have so much drawing stuff to do. I think I'm pretty strong and active for a person my age. I'm well over 50. Some people don't believe me, but I don't know, I am. I had one guy said that he thought that I was 89 years old. Most people don't think I'm in my 50s, but I am. Believe me. I know. You know, inside. I think what keeps me feeling young and being like physically active is that I am physically active. I walk 2 to 3 miles a day. I climb stairs whenever I can. Although my back does hurt, I did have sciatica. I had to have surgery for that. And I mean, I don't lift weights or anything. I have some issues with my aorta and stuff like that. I can't, do that kind of stuff anymore. But I don't eat that much, and I eat a lot of fruits, vegetables, and fish and stuff like that. I just don't eat candy. I don't eat that kind of stuff, and I walk a lot. And I do not smoke cigarettes, and I have not had alcohol in, let's say, I believe it's been about 18 and a half years with no alcohol. I feel great now. I sleep better, and I haven't smoked cigarettes in 5 years, and because I have not smoked cigarettes in 5 years, I breathe much better and I sleep better too. Okay, we're going to get this done. Sometimes people come in here and they want to ask me weird questions. They want to talk about subjects like, how some channels people, especially on TikTok, that's why I don't watch TikTok that much anymore. They want to talk about things like ethnicity. They want a lot of channel hosts like to talk about the subject of ethnicity. Race, skin color, sexual orientation, national origin, and things like that, and politics, local and domestic and international politics. They want to talk about who the president is currently and how much they don't like him, and ad nauseum. I'm just not into it. It's like, can you find something a little bit more interesting to talk about? I mean, come on, there are channels where if you're into politics, if you're really into it, there's some really good channels that you can listen to. You can get in debates, they got panels, you can have a discussion. I'm not talking about rage bait channels. I'm talking about, there are some channels where you can talk about politics all day long. And people will have healthy discussions with you. And this is on YouTube, TikTok, to a certain degree, Kick and Twitch, not as much, but you can have those discussions. I'm not a person that will not talk about religion or politics. I will, but I don't like to focus on that a lot. And I think I do like to talk about bunnies and puppy dogs and washing dishes. different positions people like. And on many things. If you want to talk about getting off of alcohol and stopping alcohol drinking and staying stopped, I could actually help you with that. That's something I could really help you with. If you want to talk about anything that is about what is really important, especially when you get over 45 years old, what's really important, and about time, I could help you with that too. But you have to ask while I'm reading the chat, which I'm not. But I'm talking about in the future. Just because I'm like that doesn't mean I'm that way. I'm straight as an arrow. Okay? I think women are beautiful. Well, some of them. Like my girlfriend, for example. She's pretty hot. What do you say, Miss Newman? Are you a hottie? Are you a hottie with a body? I think you're a pretty girl. Pretty lady. Yes, you are. You're not my favorite lady. You're my only lady. And it looks like these dishes are just about clean, dried, put away. Wow, look at that. It's, I'm washing dishes and I'm maintaining like 9 people or something in here or something like that. Is that 9 on the left-hand side or is it? I got 4 likes. I got 9 people watching. That's amazing because all I'm doing is washing dishes. And you don't really get to see my face. Or I'll let you look at my hand. See my hand? You see that? Woo! I'm what they call passive aggressive. I'm like a really easygoing guy. I'm not in a hurry to do anything. And then all of a sudden, just like that, like in your face, like that. I get really aggressive. I wonder why that is. Am I tripolar? Is that a thing? I heard that. Tripolar. So your mood goes up, down, and sideways. That's kind of like manic depressive. It's kind of like bipolar disorder, but you're going up. Your moods go up and then down the next day for no reason at all. And then it kind of goes sideways, like it's on an X and a Z and a Y axis. Well, you know, we're 3-dimensional. I guess geometry is important. Maybe our moods are 3-dimensional. You never know, it's possible. Anyway, we are finished here. I'm going to show you the results. See? See? That's amazing, dude. It's all nice and clean. A man that actually knows how to clean up after himself. I learned this stuff when I was in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. That was a long time ago. That was such a long time ago. Here, let's put this right here. When was I a little kid? Okay, born in 1966, so I guess that was 1972. Wow, Wow, that was a long time ago. I remember my hippie teachers. I had real hippie teachers. Who's making all that noise in there? Woo. Julie, I took care of those dishes. Oh, we need some more hand soap in the, is the hand soap underneath? Is the Julie, is the hand soap underneath the, oh, it is? Okay. I'll let you put this in because you're better than I. Okay, the soap is outside in the restroom, okay? People are going to start thinking that I went somewhere, but I didn't. I'm right here. I'll be back in 1 minute. What we got here? I think, I really think there's an owl outside. I've been hearing this owl since October. It's like he just stays there in the same tree. He's out. I'm going to catch him. I'm going to go out there with this this light here. I'm going to go out there and go find that owl. See his beady little eyes looking at me. Okay, what we got here? The missing bottle. Where could the missing bottle be? There is a bottle. And it's missing. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Oh, no wonder. Sometimes I get thirsty, like after washing dishes. And I don't have to think too hard about what type of beverage I want to consume to quench my thirst. I just reach out and grab for a bottle of Powerade Zero by the Coca-Cola Company. Powerade Zero. It's cool. It's refreshing. It tastes good. And you know what the best part about it is? When I drink Powerade Zero, it makes me feel like a real winner. A winner, I says. I'm a driver. I'm a winner. Things are going to change for the better. For all of us. I can feel it. Oh, yeah. Alan Baker. What's up, dude? Jason Stillwell, 3243. How does fried catfish, gator bites, cream of asparagus soup, and oyster ice cream for dinner sound? It sounds scrumptious, just like a Dairy Queen treat. Hello, is this cooking dog until it doesn't taste like dog anymore class? Ew, you should not do that. That's the kind of thing that they do in China. Is that how he says it? He has like a slight New York accent. I call it China. I have I picked up a Midwestern accent when I lived in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles because it's funny because in northern Los Angeles and in the suburban areas and in the San Joaquin Valley, in those areas, when I went out there, I lived out there long enough that I lost the accent I had when I lived in Philadelphia. Philadelphia has its own accent that's it's different from New York. It's a little bit like Baltimore, a little bit like it, but Philadelphia is unique. And I used to have that accent and I lost it. And I developed a Midwestern accent because a lot of the people that came out to California, the Okies back in the Dust Bowl days, all those Irishmen from Oklahoma and Missouri and Kansas and stuff like that, they're from the Midwest. And a lot of people have a Midwestern accent in Southern California. It's almost like they have no accent. You know how like Johnny Carson did not really have an accent? Kind of like that. There's not like a regional accent there. Not one that's easily detectable. Audio signal is very good. Nice wig. It's not a wig, it's real hair. It is. Wow. Alondro Cacon 85. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome in. We just got through washing dishes. Let's go owl hunting, bro. Brub bale. I don't know. Is that illegal to hunt owls? I don't know. And I wonder what it tastes like. I like duck. I like duck. I'm not a big fan on venison. Duck, turkey somewhat. I like duck. I like pheasant. I like dove. I like chicken if it's not. I don't like these chickens that I'm getting at the store. Did anyone else notice that? I'd rather get a smaller chicken that's and it's like the kind that's already cooked at the store, or those little skinny chickens you find running around in Mexico or something like that. Because I've been down there, like a little chicken. I'd rather eat that chicken than these chickens that are kept in coops and they can't move and they're like fattened up. There's something that tastes weird about the chicken meat. I don't know what it is. They're pumping it with steroids. What's going on? So I'm getting away from chicken unless it's just I'd rather have a chicken that's in my backyard, or I'd prefer fish. I'm most what do you call that? A pescatarian? A person that mostly just eats fish for protein. Tastes similar to dolphin steaks, really. Dolphin steaks. I'm doing pretty good. Let's see how many people have come in here. The Kula One, the power of tap water. Oh, actually, that was actually this is real Powerade Zero. Now this is gone pretty soon, and I'm going to have to start using the Welch's individual packets. Bucky the Bulkster said, I went to church for the first time today. Did you like it? Did you like it? What kind of a church was it? Was it a Protestant church, a Catholic church, a Greek Eastern Orthodox church? Was it an Armenian church, a Syrian church? What kind of church? Okay, that guy's gone. He won't be coming back to my channel again. Talking about that garbage. There's like certain things I don't tolerate on my channel. Like people that are sick in the head. And people that slander. And you're gone too. Long live King Cobra. I used to drink that stuff. Long live King Cobra. JFS. Long time coming, Randy, but we got him. Steak sauce. Left to eat for the rest of the month. You should go to a premium K9 Crunchies. You should go to a food bank or a church and ask them for some food. No, because I'm not gay. I have a girlfriend. Zebra steak barbecue. It's the last frontier. Social media for bad behavior, isn't it? Ravioli and pasta at the Olive Garden. This was fun. What do I do for fun? I go walking now. I walk, I read. I used to do more things for fun. I used to ride motorcycles. Dirt bikes. Archery. Target shooting. Let's see what else. When I was a young guy, I used to go out with my friends on a quest for hot chicks and discotheques and other assorted nightclubs. That was fun. I used to drink for fun too. But I haven't had a drink of alcohol in a long time. I'm just going to find the owl. I wasn't going to hunt the owl. Hello, bro. Are you keeping, did you know Gorillaz has dropped a few new songs? No, but I'm going to check it out. Thank you, Ice007JS. Rex Bats 1638. No, I'm not related to Kurt Russell. I've had a lot of people since I turned, I don't know, somewhere around my late 30s have told me I resemble Kurt Russell, the actor, but I'm not related to him. No. Similar. You know, there's a thing called a doppelganger. I have yet to meet my doppelganger, although I did date a woman one time, maybe 19 years ago. She's passed away now. She passed away young. I don't know what happened. We had broken up. I found out about it 2 years later. But she was in her face. She was like a doppelganger of Julia Roberts. It was a long time ago. She's since passed away. She passed away, I don't know, about 3 or 4 years ago. It's sad because she was so young. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I don't live there now. I live in North Carolina, but I lived in Los Angeles for over 30 years. And I lived in the suburbs of Seattle, Washington for about 3.5 years. Robert Redford doppelganger. A lot of people have been saying since I've gotten over 50 that I look like Robert Redford when he was younger. I'm going to have to take a look at that. Kurt Russell 0. That's right. Oh my God. Here we go with the Kurt Russell business again. Luigi. You guys are funny. He's a really good actor. Robert Redford was a good actor too. I think Kurt Russell and who else was he? He's a really good actor. And who else was a really good actor? Some of my favorites. I think Tom Cruise was actually a really good actor. I think that he's one of the best actors that Hollywood's ever had. Actually, I enjoy his movies. Robert Duvall, Gene Hackman, Clint Eastwood. These are all really good actors. Clint Eastwood, Robert Duvall, and Gene Hackman. We've lost 2 of them. I don't think I look like Richard Gere, but thank you for the compliment. Christopher Foster, 8780. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's a really good actor too. These guys are getting older now. They're not going to be around forever. Some of them might last to be 100 years old. I don't know. That Clint Eastwood looks like he's going to live to be over 100. Some of the best actors they're getting up there. They're definitely like some of the best actors are 60 or more now. 60 years old or older now. John C. Reilly. Jack Nicholson is still alive and kicking. He's a particularly good actor. I'm not sure, but I think he's a New Jersey native. I'd have to Google that. Anyway, I guess we'll have to see what happens in Cuba and Iran and Mexico. Isn't that what he says? He says, we'll see. It says something like that. We'll see. These glasses are too strong. I'm going to have to get some glasses that fit me better. Miss Newman.
Yes.
So what you up to?
Sitting in the chair relaxing.
Sitting in the chair relaxing. That's wonderful. My girlfriend is sitting in the chair. She's relaxing. She's a relaxer. Hi, Tara Rock 1982. How are you doing? You have a pretty good stream. I'm not sure if you caught it, but we were washing dishes today. That was fun. 50 minutes and 24 seconds. That's a while. I usually don't stay on that long. How's things? Lovely lamb lunch. Things are fairly good. I'm hanging in there. And if you want to watch another YouTube channel, well, a TikTok channel, my mistake, a TikTok channel that's really good, I would encourage you to watch Terra Rock 1982 or Terra Rock is all you have to put in for TikTok. She'll pop up. She's a very good conversationalist. And sometimes she goes out to establishments to do karaoke. I've seen that before. Some people are built for this. Some people are very good at this. Terra Rock is very good at keeping the conversation going. And she has a very jovial disposition too, and she has a happy heart. I like it when people come on these platforms and they're honest without being crass, or they are. Another thing I enjoy is when somebody has a channel and they're consistent and they're they just let go and they're themselves and they're not putting on an act. And there's only a handful of people that I know on TikTok that do that very well and they act like themselves. They're not putting on an act. They're authentic, let's say. And Terra Rock is one of those people. I would encourage you to watch her channel. You made it to 300. Did I? Yeah, I did. AA-DV7QL. You made it to 300. I have like 300 and what is that now? 324, 330 something subscribers. I'm desperately trying to get to 600 subscribers by Saturday. That's something you can do. If you guys, the beautiful viewers, if you could like and subscribe to Hollywoodland22. That's all one word, Hollywoodland22. And if you see Hollywoodland pop up, there might be somebody else that calls themselves Hollywoodland, but I am the orange cursive uppercase H with the black background. I think that's called an avatar. Am I correct? And you'll know that's me. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment, Tara. I could discuss it. I could discuss Hollywoodland. Hollywoodland, the only reason I named my channel Hollywoodland is because I lived in a neighborhood, a development that was made in the 1920s. They bulldozed out this neighborhood and they called it Hollywoodland. And they advertised the neighborhood. It's a neighborhood on the side of the Hollywood Hills, in the eastern part of the Hollywood Hills, which cut right through the city of Los Angeles. and they put a big advertisement that said Hollywoodland, and they had big giant light bulbs on it at the time. If you go and look at vintage footage of the Hollywoodland sign when it was owned by the housing developer, it's it kind of looks tacky, like really tacky. Um, but at some point in the either 30s or 40s or 50s, or maybe even 60s, the sign started falling apart, and the city of Los Angeles, California, acquired it, and they took off the L, A, N, and D letters and just kept up the letters Hollywood. And then they fixed it. They fixed the letters. They fixed the metal structures that hold up the letters, and they put some fences around it, and they painted it. And some celebrities, including, I'm not sure, but I think Alice Cooper also helped financially to help fix the sign because it was falling into disrepair in the 70s. And they fixed up the sign, and they took off all those lights, all those light bulbs that had broken a long time ago that were tacky, and it just reads Hollywood. And it's used by the city to advertise and market the film industry or the entertainment industry. And you see it all the time. It just says Hollywood. But underneath that sign, going down the hill, is a neighborhood called Hollywoodland. And when I first came out to California, I lived in a guest house behind someone's house up in the neighborhood that used to be called, well, it's still called Hollywoodland. It has a little stone gate that you go through and everything. There's mansions there. There's cottages there. There's all kinds of stuff. There's deer running around all over the place. There's lots of wildlife back there. It's set back from the rest of the city. And I lived there for a little while, maybe about 9 months, maybe 10. And then I got tired of going up and down the hill. It's hard on your transmission. And I decided to move down the hill, but to the north, into the northern part of the city, which is referred to as the San Fernando Valley. You might have heard of the San Fernando Valley. It's where Valley girls come from, although it doesn't look like that anymore. It's more urbanized now. It's not as suburban as it used to be when I first moved there. But I moved off the hill. Yes, I did. And I moved to North Hollywood. I've lived in that's another neighborhood in LA. And then I lived in another neighborhood called Van Nuys, or nowadays they called the part of Van Nuys. I lived near the Van Nuys airport. They call it Lake Balboa. And I lived in Chatsworth too. You might have heard of Chatsworth. Chatsworth is one of the last towns before you go into Ventura County. Lived out there for over 30 years. Lived out there for a while. No, I stopped smoking 5 years ago. And I stopped drinking 18 and a half years ago. Oh, really? The estate was named Hollywood? Yeah, so you understand. You can Google that and look for that information. I knew some of my neighbors. A lot of my neighbors did not work in the entertainment business. They were just... No, I'm not. I worked in retail sales and management, hotel and related services a long time, in direct sales. I met some people that lived in some of the houses up there and up in Hollywoodland and up and down, up in Whitley Heights and things like that. Some of the people that live up there are just professional people that either bought the house or they inherited it from their family. Some of those houses have been passed down in the family from great-grandfather to great-grandparents to grandparents to parents to son and daughter. They kept the house in the family. The people that could afford to, they kept it in the family. I'm sure some people sold those houses a long time ago. The people that kept their houses went up in value. Actually, the farther east you go in the Hollywood Hills, the less expensive the homes are per square foot. If you go west, they're more expensive. And I think some of the houses that are towards the bottom of the hill, when you go west, when you get into Beverly Hills, you're getting outside of the city of Los Angeles. When you go to Beverly Hills and areas around the University of California, Los Angeles, like some of the houses that are adjacent to the University of California, Los Angeles, near Sunset Boulevard, that are closer to the hospital emergency rooms. Some of those homes are very expensive. They do have some pretty big estates up in Bel Air, which I think is part of the city of Los Angeles. And also north of Beverly Hills, there's a neighborhood called Beverly Park. I think they used to call it Beverly Hills Post Office because it's not really in Beverly Hills. It's really in the city of Los Angeles. It's on the side of the hill. And they have some gigantic estates up there. Just unbelievable. I've been up there. I've helped some people put some irrigation systems in there with a friend of mine that had a business. No. It's kind of hard to drive your car up there. A lot of people do it. There's shortcuts. Like if you say you live in the northern part of Los Angeles, you live in the San Fernando Valley, and you want to go south and you work over in LA, and you don't work downtown. Say you work in Beverly Hills, or you work in Hollywood, or you work in Santa Monica. You have to come over the hill, and you're going to take the 405 freeway, which is always crowded, or you're going to go through Laurel Canyon Boulevard. There's all kinds of little shortcuts that go through the hills, but everybody knows them, and it takes a while. Those roads are awfully crowded at rush hour. Rush hour is in LA is usually, before the pandemic, was, let's see, I'd say 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then in the afternoons, between, I'd say, 2:30 in the afternoon until about 8 o'clock at night. Just a solid wall of cars. And before 2020, and I mean, to be honest with you, I saw worse traffic in 2008 and 2009 and 2010 and 2011 and 12 than I did in 2018. I think a lot of people, I noticed that a lot of the buses around there, the public transportation, sometime in between 2010 and 2017 or 18, that's about 7 or 8 years. I noticed that instead of having the public buses full, completely full, with standing room only, and the subways, it's not like that anymore. When I left 2.5 years ago to come here to North Carolina, those trains and buses at rush hour were only half full. I think a lot of people left. A lot of people left voluntarily. They either went to other states, whether they were U.S. citizens or undocumented, or they left the country and went back down south to Old Mexico or something like that. Because you can tell a lot of people left the city. It was visible, especially if you took public transportation a lot, which I didn't take it a lot, but sometimes I'd say maybe about half the time I needed to go someplace, I was on a train, on the Metrolink train, or a light rail, or I would take a public bus or something on the main thoroughfares. About 50% of the time. Because I stopped wanting to drive out there because it got hairy out there with the drive. It was a personal decision. I just didn't want to drive that much out there. There's a lot of people there's a lot of hit and runs out there and all kinds of stuff. Eventually we left because the crime got really bad. There was somewhere between 70,000 and 100,000 homeless people. I think it was over 100,000 homeless people at one time. And they have the homeless people out in LA, they hit different. They're not like anywhere else. You gotta be careful. And even though a lot of the homeless people are really elderly people living in RVs and stuff like that, parked all over the place, not going to hurt anybody. But there's some nasty ones out there. You got to be careful. It's a big city, you know. You know, if you're living in a tent and you're in a big city, you're going to carry something for protection. Not everybody that's out on the street living rough is in the right mind. Some people are holding down, living in a car. I've met people living in a car, parked in a parking lot and working two jobs that are like, 25, 30 years old. And I met people just walking down the street that look like you wouldn't want to walk by them if you were not like a big dude like me. You know what I mean? So there's all kinds of people wandering all over the streets there. We eventually decided to move. My lady friend and I, we decided to leave the area. That was August 2023. And we came to the suburbs of Raleigh in North Carolina because I have some family here. I wanted to spend some time with them. I'm glad that I did come here and spend some time with them. See, let's put these glasses on and see what's. Dennis Farina. No, I did not. I did not. It's not what I'm doing. I was out there for 34 years. No, yeah, it is Zig and Zag 369. It's beautiful. It's Mediterranean climate, like the eastern part of Spain or Portugal, or the French Riviera, or Sicily, or southern Italy, or Corsica, or Morocco. Yeah, it's Mediterranean climate from north of San Francisco on the coast and in the San Joaquin Valley, which is in the interior. It's also Mediterranean climate from Sacramento all the way down to San Diego. If you go east of LA maybe about 100 miles, it turns into what's called the Colorado Desert, which is the northwest extension of the Sonoran Desert, which is a much bigger desert, which goes into Arizona and into Mexico and into Baja California. It's all desert out there. Beautiful sunsets too. The only place on back east that reminds me of the sunsets that they have in Southern California is probably the west coast of Florida, especially like not St. Petersburg, but the beaches in Clearwater. The sunsets there remind me of San Diego. In fact, it's interesting because the Tampa area reminds me of San Diego a lot. That may be where we end up going. I'm not sure. It's either going to be Orlando or it's going to be the Tampa, St. Petersburg area, where my lady friend and I eventually end up moving. To Lebanon. It is beautiful around there. There in Israel and what they used to call Lebanon, Phoenicia. I would imagine that in ancient times, that would be an easier type of a climate for people to live in, just drill for water, right? Can you muckle mind your own business, Graham? Muckle is good chat. It's not my fault he can't muckle mize. Muckler mize. You guys talking about something over there. Wow, we got more people in here. $10 or 11 people. Well, you know what time it is. I bet that's interesting, being able to go visit Lebanon or Spain or Italy. I've never been over there. I spent a lot of time, most of my time in the United States. I have been to Mexico. I've been to Ciudad Juarez, which is across the border from El Paso. I've been to Tijuana, Mexico, Rosarito Beach, Ensenada, and all up and down Baja, California. Haven't been to Cabo San Lucas though. And here we go. It looks like it's time for me to use this Powerade Zero bottle. See? And make some Welch's individualized packets. It comes in a box like this. You can get it at the Dollar General or some other stores. I know it's at the Dollar General. I've been to Florida before. Florida's my kind of place, especially at my age. With me having a sciatica and some knee pain and stuff like that, it's much warmer than most of California. Now in the summertime, if you go to the middle of California or the desert out near the Arizona border, of course it's the Sonoran Desert. It's very hot out there, but you know, some parts of the middle of California, like Bakersfield and Fresno, can get very hot for long periods of time. They're almost semi-arid. It's just not, the summer's not as long, but it can get up, 105 degrees, 110. It can even get to 115 degrees in Bakersfield or Fresno. That's an agricultural area. They grow a lot of things there. Probably somewhere between, 25% of everything that's produce that you eat probably comes from there. I wouldn't be surprised, but you'd have to Google it to find out if I'm telling the truth about that. I might be mistaken. I think it's about probably 25% of everything on your table that you eat is coming from the San Joaquin Valley, the Central Valley of California. And you know what that place looks like? You know what the agricultural areas of Central California look like? They look like Oklahoma. Check it out on your internet. It's interesting. Doesn't look like the pictures you usually see of California. North Carolina here is a very nice state. The beaches are beautiful. I think Raleigh area I like. I like Asheville up in the mountains. They have the southern part of the state has mild winters. Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and Wilmington and Fayetteville all have very mild winters. They have a winter and snow can lay here, but it's not that much. It's not like when you go like north of here, like up north of Richmond, going towards Washington, D.C. It gets really cold up there. That's right. I'm making instant coffee too. Food Lion House Blend Instant Coffee. There we go. I'm sure that's gonna perk me up a little bit. Thank you for hitting the like and subscribe button. You guys are fantastic. Put a little creamer on that. Throw the garbage away. Thank you for hitting the like and subscribe button. Hollywoodland22. If you watch this channel, Hollywoodland22, do you know what that makes you? It makes you a driver and a winner. Things are going to change for the better for all of us. I can feel it. You must pray for the people that do you wrong. It's difficult, but you must. You don't have to forget, just forgive. Don't tell your plans to anyone. You have the freedom to remain silent. Silence is golden. It really is. How do you like my tactical flashlight? Isn't that cool? Who's in here? I bet Lebanon was interesting. Oh, I know. They must be out here. There's my glasses. And here's my coffee. I cool my coffee down in the freezer. Isn't that odd? But it works. In about 2 minutes, the spoon inside, it starts cooling down. Wow, looks like a young Peter O'Toole. Gensley _report. He looks like he had a hit show in the 80s. You're funny. 77. Luck, SINYC, New York City. I'm in Chattanooga. We had a long winter that lasted a whole month. I know, Gloves. Jay, I had an uncle that used to work for the Railroad Museum there. I think he used to run the place. Oh, people can be as fans of anyone they want, Jay Moore. 651. People can be Trump fans if they want. Doesn't bother me, really. Ew, that's gross. Gunner 200, that's a gross. Kurt Russell lookalike. Giller Moa Lubbockins. No, it's not. It's not a political channel, Jay Moore, 651. No, it's not a Trump channel. Although I did vote for him. I mean, I couldn't vote for a woman that couldn't speak properly. No. And she seemed like she was intoxicated on live television. I can't prove it, but it seemed that way. And I'm not going to have a command. I don't want to vote for someone to be commander in chief that like that. She just wasn't presidential material, in my opinion. Doesn't mean I agree with all of Trump's policies. I mean, presidents of the United States have power, but most of the power lies with the Congress, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. Cynthia husband, 106. He is handsome, but looks more like Kurt Russell when he was 21. He must have been a real looker. Well, thank you for the compliment if that was made for me. Did you invent Temple OS? Oh, you were on base there. Really? Gloves J? Were you a United States Marine at Gloves J? It seemed like she was like she took too much Klonopin or something, or you know what I mean? It's like that. I was like, what's going on? Or alcohol or something. She seemed like she was buzzed on live television. Oh, and the Coast Guard. Oh, did you work? Did they work with our Coast Guard? Yeah. That's what Miss Newman here. She was a United States Coast Guard swimmer. She used to jump out of helicopters, feet first, and save people's lives. She was stationed mostly at Dodge Island. Dodge Island? Yeah. Somewhere in Miami area. Hired to work with the Army. Okay. I remember what happened in Beirut in the 80s. Hey, I want to tell you something. Personally, I've been waiting for this Iran strike since 1979 when I was 13 years old. I remember the Ayatollah Khomeini dartboards and everything. They even had them in Shakey's Pizza. That's not even a bar. That Pac-Man and the Ayatollah Khomeini dartboard, I couldn't believe it. It was ridiculous. I remember those hostages they took from that were our embassy workers in 1979. It was like a whole year. It was almost 500 days. As soon as Reagan got sworn in, they get released. Interesting. Everybody forgets the atrocities. I'll never forget, what happened to the barracks there, the Marine barracks. And I think that was Beirut, wasn't it? Was that 85 or 86? I can't remember. God, it was so long ago. I was like 1985. I was 19 years old, but I remember that stuff. I remember all those hostages being taken out blindfolded in Tehran. They took over our embassy illegally. I remember all the helicopters that Jimmy Carter sent out there to save the hostages, and they all crashed out in the desert. I'm like, people are like, what's going on with our country? That was a whole different time. A lot of people don't have proper context to understand everything that's going on right now. I mean, they weren't born. They weren't even born or thought of back then. These are young people, don't understand those things. I mean, how is a person that's not at least, like in 1979, you had to be at least like able to watch television, you know, and understand what's going on, be like a smart kid, like a smart 12, 13, 14-year-old kid or older, a teenager to be watching television and watching what's going down and maybe having your parents explain it to you. Something you probably would remember those images. It's not, but if you weren't even born yet, or if you were a small child, you probably wouldn't remember what the mullahs did to our embassy workers. You know what I mean? You probably wouldn't remember that. So a lot of people during the day on TikTok, that platform, they have a lot of opinions about this that I completely disagree with. I don't know. I got a feeling that a lot of people that were not adults yet, but they were going to high school or they were going to college, or they might have been adults, but in college or high school students during the coronavirus debacle that we had between 2020 and 2019 in some of the bigger cities that were staying at home and doing online learning or online school. I think they did not learn a lot. Just like gaps in their education or something. They seem to not know like real simple things. One hour and 27 minutes. I had no idea it was going to last this long, but I'm going to have to call tonight. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for hitting the like and the subscribe button to Hollywoodland22. And thanks for giving me your opinions on everything. I like to hear your opinions. I think it's Gloves Jay thinks, I think it's a generational parenting problem caused by my generation. Yeah, I think it's deep. Yeah, you're right. I concur. I think there's something going on. I think it's something going on with the COVID debacle, and a lot of the young people did not get educated during that time frame, and I do think it's before that too. You are correct. You are correct. Gloves Jay. It might be Generation X. I'm Generation X. It might be like some of my generation's fault and not properly educating their children. I mean, not all of them, but a nice chunk of Generation X or millennials, or maybe both generations did not really raise their kids properly. Gloves Jay, I agree with you, Gloves Jay. Cynthia Husband 106, like your honesty, you're right. Too many young people that really don't know what is happening right now. It's culture shock. Good night. Yeah, it is culture shock. Evolution 1013 said, handsome, you should be an actor. Gloves. Oh, you're Gen X. I think it was a problem with war-struck Gen X and boomers. You know what? our generation, we're pretty tough, but we're different from boomers too. Maybe there's some aspects, some common denominators with Generation X that maybe we were too protective with the children. Maybe we did the opposite because we were let to, a lot of Generation X, not all of us, but a lot of us were left to just go out and play, or then come home when the street lights come on, and we didn't even come home then. I mean, they had to put commercials on. Remember, it's 10 o'clock at night. Do you know where your children are? Back in the 80s, like we roamed all over the place. I mean, I was like, in places in Philadelphia I probably should not have been. Right. And maybe a nice chunk of Generation X was overprotective with the children. I don't know, with their kids. It's possible. I'm glad that somebody brought this up in my chat. Couple people, Gloves J and Cynthia husband 106, Scottish Highlander, met this guy in Philly in 1984. Good guy. Oh, you met somebody or you met me? Philadelphia has its problems, but it's still an economically viable city. It did not completely disintegrate like Baltimore did. Interesting. People still live in Philly.
I am here too.
Some of the neighborhoods are real ugly too, but people live there. No, people's been saying I look like Kurt Russell since I was 35 years old. No relation. How you rock a great hairline like that? I lost mine at 28. I'm a bald lucky monk now. I don't know. It's from my mother's side of the family, because my father's side of the family, a lot of those guys went bald at 25 and 26 years old. And they got some Scotch Irish in them. I inherited the bad teeth on my mother's side of the family. These are partial dentures. See? And it's starting to break too. So I got to get them replaced. I got to get the top ones. Probably they'll want to replace the whole thing. They work. I can eat. Holmesburg, Frankfurt, and Ron. Funk Congress. Holmesburg, Frankfurt, and Ron. Oh, really? I'm familiar with that neighborhood, yes. Are you familiar with East Kensington and Port Richmond and Fishtown? That's me. You know where that is, right? Man, Frankfurt really changed. I went back there and Frankfurt changed. DeConey didn't change that much, but Oxford Circle and Frankfurt changed a lot. East Kensington is still East Kensington. Port Richmond still is Port Richmond. Bristol, Pennsylvania is still Bristol, Pennsylvania. Ronhurst. Chestnut Hill's real nice. Norristown is still a dump. Southwest Philly is kind of the same as it's always been. Actually, around the zoo looks really bad. They used to call that part, like on 42nd and Girard, that part of West Philadelphia, used to call that the bottom over near Fairmount Park. It's like that place is totally downhill. There's parts of West Philadelphia that are very, just, I guess you call that blue collar areas. A lot of homeowners out there, less renters. Nothing against renters. But some people that rent in some neighborhoods in Philadelphia don't pay a lot of money, and they let their neighborhoods go. Dominic, 8171. I just made a Kraft dinner and the noodle didn't expand. Where does shit? What? It's supposed to. It's supposed to if you boil it in water. What, something we have to add water to it, or I don't know. Some of the food that's in a box, like some of the processed food, I don't think it's being made properly. I think there's a problem with our food factories. Tony Kaiser, wouldn't that be like the Mexican immigrants that come here? You know what's interesting about Philadelphia is I have a sister that lives there. She lives in Rittenhouse Square in the least expensive apartment in all of Rittenhouse Square, and she told me that South Philadelphia is starting to get some Mexican immigrants there, and we have some authentic Mexican food there. So there's some other Latino people in Philadelphia besides Puerto Ricans. Now you got Mexicans there. They go where the work is. There must be work in Philadelphia. Diana Carrillo, 7207. Florida won't recognize their ID. Oh, really? I know Florida is going hard on like undocumented. It's like it's time to leave Florida if you're undocumented. You know what I'm saying? That's the way Governor DeSantis is doing it. I'm just a messenger. Just letting you know. Gary Busey too, Rod. If you were, you'd be making money as his impersonator. Really? Yeah, I gotta get this fixed. This and this whole thing here. These are real. They're real in the back, but some of these in the front are fake. And these used to be fake teeth here. And they just broke. Because these are like 5 years old. These are very old partial dentures. It cost a lot of money, and I have to replace them. I think it's probably going to cost me about $3,500 to do that. It'll bite. It won't kill me, but it'll bite. At least I got the bad teeth out. They can't get a beer or a job. Yeah, every state's like a little mini country, isn't it? Louisville, Kentucky, there's Florida tags everywhere. I bet there are. Is there a lot of people leaving Florida for other reasons? Yeah, some people go to Florida from like New York and Philadelphia and places like that, Connecticut. They go down there, they're going to retire. They're going to, I'm going to go move to Florida. They go buy a house or a condo, and then they find out their property taxes are real high and they can't really afford to live in Florida. And then they find out what a tornado and a hurricane is. And they're like, oh, we don't want to do this. And then they come back up north. They come to North Carolina. Or they come to South Carolina. I did not know they're backing up and going to Kentucky too. Oh, well, Kentucky's a cheap state to live in. If you don't mind like snow and stuff like that, I guess you can live in Kentucky. That's a dirt cheap place to live. I wouldn't live in Louisville, though. I wouldn't live in Eastern Kentucky next to the West Virginia border. That's a very lack of opportunity type of an area. Where's my KFC? I do know how to hang drywall. It's interesting that I've only done it 5 times in my life. Florida's not having a lot of jobs right now. Oh, really? Louisville's like that. It's inexpensive to live there. Robert says, I am 24. My dad bought our house for $100,000 back in 2000. We pay $600 and almost own the house, but there are not many good jobs here. Is this in that? Okay, so you got a good deal on a house in 2000. That's still a good deal on a house. Well, it depends on where in Florida. Like Florida has some parts that are inexpensive, but that's a good deal. You just got to do whatever, do whatever you got to do. Make the mortgage payment. You're cool. It's important to own a property. Do whatever you do to pay the taxes and pay the mortgage payment. You guys will be okay. Maybe one day. There's a lot of Persian people I know that live in LA, Los Angeles, California. There's a bunch out there. I bet they're kind of happy right now. Maybe one day, you guys will have Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's, and Taco Bell too in Tehran. Would that be cool? Okeechobee? Oh, yeah, I know where that is. In Okeechobee? Are there a lot of alligators in that big giant lake? I always wondered that. I wonder if that's freshwater or saltwater. It's a cow town owned by the Rawlerson, a big family. Oh, there's cattle ranches around there? Tony Kaiser said, PNC Bank president told me, rerun the nation. They're here to fix it. I've been banking for 25 years there. Yes, freshwater. It's freshwater. Okay. You may have. I'm not sure if the American crocodiles, which have a longer snout, they might be still just in the Everglades. I don't know if they slip into that lake, which isn't too far away. There's a part of me that wants to move like in the middle of Florida, like in Sebring or wherever they have that race, that auto race, or like someplace like in the middle. Like if a hurricane comes by, maybe it'll turn into just a rainstorm by the time it gets to me. Like live in Polk County or live in one of those counties like south of Kissimmee, but not on the coast. I'm thinking about that. You have to watch out; they'll grab you. A dude in Mississippi told me that an alligator can lunge at you at 35 miles an hour for the first 12 feet. 12 to 15 feet. They can lunge at 45 miles an hour. No, 35 miles an hour. Like that's how they catch deer. They drag it in the lake and then they spin around like this until the deer drowns. And they let the deer go to the bottom of the lake until it starts to rot a little bit so that they can chew it. And they go back to it and they chew their prey. It's pretty gross, but that's what they do. I would like to see free trade between a free Iran, or you can even call it Persia. You can change the name of it if you want, I guess. And there's a lot of smart people over there. A long time ago, royalty in Europe used to send their family members to Persia to get surgeries back in hundreds of years ago. Because at one time, Persia had the best surgeons in the entire world. A lot of people don't know that. If you go to college, you might learn it. That might have been an alligator telling you that. I don't know. They will grab you off the water right after winter. Like when we went fishing yesterday, and I seen 3 cross the salt water and two saltwater crocs. Whoa. Oh man. There's saltwater crocs. Are they like floating around like southern Florida? Like I heard they come up on the beaches and stuff, man. You know, could you imagine you're just like you're sunbathing, minding your own business, and then all of a sudden something grabs your leg and is dragging you into the ocean? Wouldn't that suck? Yes, I know. It's known as Persia. I remember that. I got some stories to tell you about. My father used to work for a aerospace company that was selling a satellite to the government of Iran in 1974 or 1975, a long, long time ago. He brought me back a Persian vase. That was before that embassy debacle. I remember all that stuff. You know, those reptiles just don't care. Like, we're humans, but we could be just like a deer to them. I mean, if they're hungry, right, and you're dicking around near the lake, right, you shouldn't be that close to the water anyway. Like you think you're going to kick a crocodile's ass or not even an alligator, not even a 6-foot alligator, man. You don't want to mess with those things, man. Those things are nasty. They just lunge at you. We were almost grabbed off a dock in Hope Sound. Really? Dang, dude. Your guns don't work underwater. I know that. Okay, let's think about this. Okay, a crocodile or even an alligator has been around since before the dinosaurs.
Okay.
They've had a long, long time to become perfected at being carnivorous predators. They're very good at certain things. They don't have to be smart and be able to think. All their brain power and all their talent is all focused in one area, grabbing your leg and dragging you back into the lake. They're much better at kicking ass than you are. No matter if you know Krav Maga or if you know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or if you know you're some MMA guy or you're some Billy Badass or something like that shit. It don't matter. It don't matter if you have a machete or something like that. If all you had was a machete, that thing could grab you and drag you out in that water, and yeah, would machete be going on in the water with you? That's what I'm saying. And like you're being dragged and stuff, how are you going to shoot the thing? Probably accidentally. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So I advise all people in America to stay away from any lake in Florida at least 30 feet. Watch the ducks from afar. Don't go more than within 30 feet of the edge of the lake. You never know. There might be an alligator. That's the fastest alligator in the entire world. And you'll be minding your own business and like, I don't know, Winter Haven somewhere. And vacationing there from Connecticut somewhere, looking at the cute little ducks down there floating around the lake. You might want to wander down there with some bread and try to feed the ducks. There's a sign that says don't feed the ducks, but you're going to feed the ducks anyway. You're going to go down there, and pretty soon, before you know it, as fast as you can get whacked from a A10 warthog. That alligator is going to jump out of there and you're going to be like going in the water, man. And you're going to be grabbing, slipping on the mud. You don't want that to happen to you. Also, another thing I would highly recommend. Thank you. You're a good person to talk to, too. You're a good conversationalist, Robert. You be safe too. But one more thing. Chimpanzees are dangerous. Don't mess with chimps. Don't have a chimp as a pet. Just don't do it, dude. Get a Doberman Pinscher. Don't own a chimpanzee. Cynthia Husband 106. Yes, be safe. You seem like a very nice person, very intelligent. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. You have a beautiful evening too, Cynthia Husband 106. Erwin Curtis, Timothy Hutton. No, Randy. Thank you guys for and gals for coming in. It's about that time that I have to skedaddle. It's been fun. No, I've been sober for 18 and a half years. Thanks for hitting that like and subscribe button. You all have a wonderful Sunday evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Be safe. Bye-bye for now.